Finally, we get some preseason action. I mean, we're not even going to waste any time, man. We're going to hop straight into this. This isn't a deep dive, kind of reacting, kind of looking at some decent throws, right? A little bit of film, a little bit of react, nothing super crazy. But Drew Allar, the Pittsburgh Steelers 3rd round pick, I have been waiting for. Nothing towards Will Howard. Howard actually had a pretty good day, and he had a pretty solid throw that I watched. I was like, ooh, that shit's clean. But Drew Allar is like my guy. This is the guy that I want to see start. I have a favorite in Pittsburgh. I'm sorry. But let's just watch Drew Allar and a couple of these clips on some of these plays. So you see him right here on this 3rd and 7. And I mean, this is more wide receiver than Drew Allar, but still, you see the wide receiver take off right there. This is a really nice throw from Drew Allar, right? And a lot of times I feel like whenever we see some of these short passes, especially with a rookie quarterback, a lot of times I feel like it's a short pass, right? I feel like this was like a slant that was decent, right? It was 5 yards. And like I said, a lot of times when we watch these quarterbacks, a lot of like short dump offs and stuff like this. But I feel like this was a little bit of a layered throw, nothing crazy, right? But you do have the backer kind of hovering right here in the middle. So you have the defensive back covering on the back end, and you have the linebacker. And Drew Allar, bro, he literally just missiles this thing right in between. You see that defensive back fall right there. And then this player on Pittsburgh 10, he just does the rest, bro. He runs out of steam right here. But still, this was a really good play. Really good throw, really good route, and really good yak from the wide receiver. All right, then we have this play from Drew Allar. Looks like they're coming out of shotgun in the 11 personnel. We got the one tight end right there. In a 2-1 look with the wide receivers. And they're just going to run a little bit of read option right here, dude. But he does a really good job of, look at that. 47 closes in on the running back. Then we have this wide open lane right here. Drew Allar does a really good job of just getting in. Boom, a little bit of truck to get in right there, right? He didn't get in free without some contact, but really clean run from Drew Allar right here, and really good job at finishing. But you know, when I did a reaction video of this dude, yo, real quick, if you're messing with the video, hit that like, hit that hype, and subscribe to your boy. Then go follow me on Instagram up at the top left. DM me a player you want me to make a video on, or any NFL take you got, and we'll tackle it on the channel. All right, let's get it. I was like, he kind of has some wheels, bro. Like, he kind of can move. So I really like that the Pittsburgh Steelers kind of showed this off in his first preseason action, dude. A little bit of read option. All right, then we have this play. Looks like they're coming out of shotgun in a 2-1 look. And what is it? 1st and 10. Watch Drew Allar on this, dude. He does a really good job of just being super decisive. Boom, out in the flat. And 84, you know, we saw the play previously, and then we see this play. His wide receivers are being very quarterback friendly. They're helping out the quarterback. They're getting a ton of yak, dude. I mean, you know, this is a good throw from Drew Allar, but this is even better, you know, yards after catch, dude. I mean, look at that. Breaking a tackle, making the guy miss, and then getting upfield on the sidelines. But all around, really good play from Drew, and a really good play from 84 right here. Look at this. Boom, decisive out in the flat. Receiver gets upfield for really good yardage. All right, then we have this play on a 1st and 10. I think we have multiple tight end set right here with the split wide receivers. You're gonna see they're gonna run just a little bit of play action right here. And this ball, I'm not gonna sit here and hype up an incomplete pass, right? Because this is an incomplete pass. But if I'm being real with you, the placement on this incomplete pass really wasn't all that bad, dude. And you know, they'd go on to call a penalty right here. The Steelers were getting some calls, I'll tell you that much right now. And I'm not trying to stir the pot, but the Packers DBs, they were getting called for some shit, dude. And I mean, this one right here, it was a penalty. But I mean, you see the placement right there, dude. Even in an incomplete pass, it really wasn't that bad. But this, yeah, like I said, I'm not gonna try to hype up an incomplete pass from a quarterback. All right, then we have this play on a 2nd and 8. Looks like they're coming out at an empty set with a trips up at the top, twins down here at the bottom, a 3-2 look. I really like this throw from Drew Allar. I'm gonna tell you that right now, because he's kind of fading back, you'll notice, and he hits this slant route. Look at this. For the 1st down too, moving the sticks, dude. But you'll see they're sending, how many are they sending? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is that 6 or 7? The one guy fades back, right? So he's showing blitz, then he drops back into coverage. But you know, he's obviously feeling the pressure, and he does a really good job of still making his pass really accurate and really on point. I mean, let's watch it again, dude. Look at this. Send in 5. Literally has a guy like unblocked in his face, and he's kind of fading back a little bit, right? But I thought he showed really good composure right here. And like I said, it was a really nice, accurate pass, because lots of times when these guys panic like this, I wouldn't say he was panicking, because I mean, look at that, bro. He literally just flicks that thing to his wide receiver. And this is something that I talked about when I watched his reaction video, dude. He kind of has a little bit of the flick of the wrist, like right on a dime. And you see the result right here for a first down, and it was right on the money to his player. Again, you don't have to remind me. I understand this is a preseason game. But from young guys, you want to see positives. That's what the preseason is for these young dudes. All right, on this play, looks like they're coming out of shotgun with a stack up here at the top. It looks like we got the 11 personnel, the one tight end off the left tackle in the is that a wide receiver or tight end? I don't know, but watch this play on a 1st and 10 from the Pittsburgh offense. I mean, look at that. Quick, fast, indecisive to 84. And what do you run? Like a 5-yard slant? Boom. About a 7 to 8 yard slant, and Drew Allar puts that thing on the money, dude. Out in front of 84, makes it so he can run after the catch. Just quick and decisive. That's what we love, because we don't want to see a young guy hold on to the ball too long, and that's just not what Drew Allar's doing in a lot of these clips. All right, then we have this play on a 2nd and 10. I really like this one because we're going to get a little bit of a rub up here up top with the defensive player, and then Drew Allar, dude, he's just going to fire this thing right out into the flat right there. Really quick, really decisive. And then the 81 turns up, gets some decent yardage right there. What is that, like a gain of 5? Gain of 7? But again, just another play showing just super quick, super decisive. We don't want these young QBs holding on to the ball too long, especially in the preseason, dude. Like, if they can't process in the preseason, it's like, all right, they're young, but still clearly some things that they need to work on. Drew Allar still has things he needs to work on. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and act like he doesn't, but he's being pretty decisive with a lot of these plays. All right, then we have this play on a 3rd and 5. Looks like they're coming out of shotgun in a twins look. Got this guy on motion right here, and you're gonna see you guys gonna run out in the flat right here, and then we got Sticks, and he just finds the wide receiver finds a nice little spot inside the zone, and Drew Allar does a really good job of just laying it on him quick. Look at that, out into the flat. We got this right here, and I mean, he easily, like I said, he easily could have just fired this out into the flat, but what does he do? He sees this, he sees a linebacker. I'm pretty sure that's a linebacker right there. He kind of turns his back to the wide receiver, and then it opens up that little soft spot literally right at the Sticks, and Drew Allar does a really good job of just laying it on him quick. Boom. First down, moving the Sticks. Let's watch it again. Boom. Turns around, Drew Allar lays it on him. First down. All right, then we have this play on a 1st and 10. Now, it is something similar that they did, right? How they had like the slant, and then they have like that just the quick flat route. And you're gonna see Drew Allar, he's gonna look to his left right here, dude. It's just not open. Let's watch this live real quick. He pump fakes a little bit, and you can see he's looking there for that slant, but he just didn't like it. This defensive player right here, maybe it was in the passing lane. He's just like, I don't like it. Or there was a safety in back that we just can't see. He's kind of out of frame. But you'll see the rest what Drew Allar does right here, dude. He does a really good job. Scrambles out to his right. And then, I mean, it's nothing crazy, right? I mean, we're looking at like a 3 or 4 yard completion. But he didn't like what he saw on his left. Looked out to his right. Scrambled out. And I mean, hell, later on, I wouldn't say that this wasn't, you know, it wasn't a clean pocket. We're getting a little bit of edge pressure right here, but later on, you know, as he continues to learn, probably just step up right here and then hit your who's that, the tight end or the wide receiver out in the flat right there. But there was a little bit of a pass rush, so I'm not gonna sit here and be like nitpicky, be like, hey, quarterback should have done this and that. Not a quarterback professional. This is literally my unprofessional opinion, right? But I thought he did a really good job of delivering this pass out to the right. All right, then we have this play. Looks like they're coming out in a 2-1 look on a 1st and goal, and they're just gonna run a little pick play down here at the bottom. And again, nothing crazy, right? But out in the flat, boom. Got this defender right here. He's literally in trail technique. He's not gonna be able to catch this this wide receiver, right? And then Drew Allar, a little bit of a rollout to his left, hits the wide receiver. Boom, we got 6. Like, too easy. Come on, Green Bay. Come on, Green Bay. But look at that. Boom. Lays it right on him for 6. Away from the defender too, right? And this is just a route. Some people would be like, this is a routine throw. Yes, it's routine, but bro, either it could be too low, a little bit behind. This is a good pass from Drew Allar. We're not gonna get nitpicky about this. Look at that. All right, then we have this play on a 2nd and 8, and nothing crazy, right? Just a simple play action. But I thought Drew Allar did a really good job rolling out to his right and hitting 89 while on the move. I mean, that's just a very nice, accurate dot while on the move. And you know, it's not like the defender was really like in his face or anything, nothing crazy. But like I said, while on the move, just right out in front of 89. And I mean, right on the sticks, dude, just short. Really nice pass and really nice catch from 89 and Drew Allar right here on a 2nd and 8. All right, then we have this player right here, and it was actually drawn off of a penalty for a deep pass. Kind of didn't disagree with it, but we're not even gonna talk about that. On a 3rd and 5, watch this pass from Drew Allar, dude. This ends up being an incomplete pass, but it was a really accurate pass. The defensive back just made a really good play on the ball, and he ended up getting a penalty right here too, dude. And he did hold a little bit, but this was a really good pass while he's moving forward also, right? And he's throwing this right here. I thought it was a really good pass from Drew Allar. He could have put it out in front of the wide receiver just a little bit more, if I'm being real with you. But I thought it was a really good choice. But like I said, defensive back held a little bit right here, and they end up calling it. But it was a really good play on the ball from the defensive back, despite the penalty right here. All right, then we get this play. You're gonna see they're gonna run a little bit of play action right here, and yeah, so you see him pulling through that. All right, then we get this play. You're gonna see 37 right here off the play action. He's just gonna leak out in the flat, and Drew Allar does a really good job of laying it on him. A little bit high, right? But 37 does a really good job of reeling it in. And I mean, hey, this was a really this was a fun performance for me to watch Drew Allar, in my opinion. Like I said, I thought Will Howard also had a pretty good performance. I did. When Mason Rudolph was out there, I wasn't excited, but when Will Howard and Drew Allar was out there, I thought it was exciting. But Drew Allar is like the guy that I'm like hoping is a starter. If Will Howard does good and he also is possibly the starter in the future after A-Rod leaves, I'm up. Just whoever can go out there and play decent, solid, good ball for the Pittsburgh Steelers and possibly be their franchise player. That's all I really care about. But like I said, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Be sure to drop a like, subscribe to your boy, hit that hype button. It's your boy Shady Luke. I'll probably be getting out some more of these. Jeremy Bernard, I'm gonna get out a video on him pretty soon, maybe tonight. We'll see. I don't know. Jaysean Stribling also had a pretty good night. But yeah, man, it's your boy Shady Luke. I appreciate the love, and I am outie. Deuces.